Hello guys, and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel, Spanish for English Speakers with Jen. In today's video, I'm going to give you more tips about letters and sounds. So let's get started. In Spanish, you will find some letters that have two sounds or letters that have a similar sound. Let's start with the letter Y and double L, or in Spanish, Y y L or double L. I have placed here those consonants next to a vowel, so you will notice that they sound exactly the same. Let's practice those sounds. Ya, ye, yi, yo, you. Very good. And now let me give you some examples of words that we have in Spanish that have those two. Yate, yate, sombrilla, sombrilla. Yegua, yegua, muelle, muelle. Let me tell you something before I go to the next example. So the first word, yegua, just for you to know, this is the female version of horse in Spanish. It's called yegua. And then in another example, you will see how you can say horse in Spanish. Ensayista, ensayista, allí, allí, mayo, mayo, caballo, caballo, ayuda, ayuda, lluvia, lluvia. Alright, so now probably you're thinking, good, I don't have to remember a different sound for each one. But I have to tell you something, guys. And actually, the letter Y or J in Spanish, um, that letter has some exceptions. So actually, this letter have two sounds. The sound we just practiced right now, and also it sounds like a vowel. So the letter Y has the following exceptions. It's pronounced as a vowel when the previous word ends with a vowel and the next word starts with a vowel. For example, este y aquel. If you notice, it sounds like the letter I in Spanish or E, and that's exactly what it says in the little white circle that I have placed here. It says, suena como I. So, the next exception is pronounced as a vowel when it is placed between consonants. For example, hombres y mujeres. And it's important you remember those exceptions because that will help you to know when to pronounce the letter Y as a vowel and when to pronounce it as a consonant. Then we have the letter G and J, or G y J in Spanish. The letter G sounds like a J when the G is followed by E or I. The letter J always sounds like the H in hey. And let me give you some examples. Gema, girar. So here we have the letter G followed by E and I. Remember, if it's followed by these letters, it will sound like the letter J in Spanish. And let's practice the sound of the letter J in Spanish. Jarra, joven, jungla, jefe, jirafa. Very good. The letter G also sounds like the G in the word good when it's followed by A, O, or U. Guantes, gato, goma. So actually the last word, goma, this is also called llanta, neumático, rueda. So this is the wheels of the cars. Actually, this has four names in Spanish. And let me repeat them. Goma, llanta, neumático, rueda. Then we have the letter C. It sounds like S when it's followed by E or I. And here we have some examples. Cocina, cocina, cita, cita. So in the second word, I have placed two pictures because you can use the same word for those two. So the word cita means date when you're going on a date, and it also can be used to say that you have an appointment with a doctor, okay, with a doctor or with someone. You have an important appointment, so you will use the word cita. It sounds like K or Q when it's followed by A, O, or U. And here we have some examples as well. Correr, correr, casa, casa, cueva, cueva. As well, the letter X have different sounds. So it sounds like x, x when it's between vowels. So here we have some examples. Taxi, taxi, examen, examen. It could also sound like J in between vowels. México, México, Texas, Texas. In English, you say Mexico, but in Spanish, you will have to say Mexico, even though it's an X. And if you will talk about Texas, you have to say Texas. But some people, as they know English and Spanish as well, if you say Texas, they will understand. Or if you say Mexico. But for people that speak Spanish, it's common to say Mexico or Texas. It could also sound like the letter S when it's the first letter of a word. For example, xenofobia, xenofobia, xilófono, xilófono. And now we have the letter H. The letter H is mute in Spanish. The sound will depend on the vowel next to it. So if you know the sound of the vowel next to it, that's exactly the sound that you will pronounce. And here we have some examples. Hablar, hablar, helado, helado. The letter H is not mute when it's after the letter C. Remember the digraph CH. So it will sound like this. Lechuga, lechuga, chocolate, chocolate. One more time, the sound will depend on the vowel next to it. Okay, so here we have the letter S and letter Z. In the Dominican Republic, we don't actually have a different pronunciation for these letters. In the word sapo and the word zanahoria, we pronounce the first letter like an S, even though the second word starts with a Z. The countries in Latin America pronounce those letters the same way. And that's because in Latin America we have something called ceseo. And what that means is that the letter Z or C followed by E or I will sound like S. Actually, all the words that have the letter Z or C will sound like there is an S instead. But in Spain, they use el ceseo. And what that means is that most of the words that have the letter S will sound like the Z. Let me give you some examples so you can better understand. In Latin America, we would say casa, seguro, persona. In Spain, they would say casa, seguro, persona. If you have any question about this video, you can put it on the comment section below, or you can send me an email at SpanishForEnglishSpeakersWG@gmail.com. You can hit on subscribe or you can hit on like if you like this video. I hope to see you soon and thank you for watching.